in our last interview I did with him, and then he mentioned in the show again was how Russia kind of changed the way he thought about things. And so I tried to dig a little deeper and figure out exactly what he meant by that, because I know that's something he's brought up numerous times now. And I think it was just that he finally realized that there's multiple ways to look at a problem, where before maybe he only realized that there was one, and that kind of opened his mind to seeing other solutions to, essentially his problem is how to make the Olympic team. There might be other solutions besides staying at Hawkeye Wrestling Club to make the Olympic team.
Yeah, clearly so. And what were your initial thoughts when you heard, before you talked to Thomas, Ben, that when he decided he was going from Iowa to Penn State? How surprised were you?
Shocked, totally shocked. I mean, this was Thomas Gilman was like the ultimate Hawkeye, like the most Hawkeye of all Hawkeyes. Like when you thought of Hawkeye, you thought of Thomas Gilman, and so. When he went to Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, that it really did blow my mind. It caught me totally off guard. Before it was announced, I heard a few rumors about it, and I almost didn't believe it. So yeah, I guess I would say totally shocking, and I believe it lends itself to many points of discussion. But yeah, it's kind of blew my mind.
And we also haven't really got to discuss on FRL Mark Perry headed to Arizona State and the fallout with that, and how I believe that really precipitated a lot of this stuff going into motion. I think it was originally, and I heard around once Arizona State made its coaching changes, they let Jameel Kelly go, which I don't actually understand that, and then Chris Pendleton went to Oregon State. It sounded like, okay, Mark Perry and Gilman headed to Arizona State, right? And then we heard the rumors about Navy, and Thomas corroborated that yesterday on the show. But it made sense to me that he would go to Arizona State just for that continuity of coaching, right? So I really honestly thought it was one of those two places. I didn't know, and that's maybe part of the Kale mystique is that they don't. It gets out other places. It was out at Arizona State that they were looking at Gilman. It was out at Navy that he would potentially go there. And really, I think unless you were deeply connected to the situation, I don't think you knew Penn State was laying in the cut there.
Yeah, so he said, I asked him about that. He said, if it was just there's a lot of things that maybe make my decision. If it was just a coaching decision, I probably would have went to Arizona State. But when I look at everything that goes along with it, the other things just weren't as strong there, pulling me there. And so, he definitely addressed that him and Mark were very close, which I guess I didn't realize they were so close. And they do not seem like really similar personality types to me, but I guess they had a really super close relationship. And so I said if it was just about coaching, I would have went to Arizona State.
Yeah, definitely they had a close relationship. I think Coach Barry did with all the Hawkeye Wrestling Club athletes. It seemed like they really appreciated him and liked working with him. And when you're not in the college room and you're not getting that, I think you're drawn to that guy or to that coach that you have. And I think that was clearly the case with Thomas. And I can actually really see them. Those are two extreme personalities, I would say, Mark Perry, but I can see them. I could see it going one of two ways, and I think it went the one way with extreme synergy, really. But you know what I mean? Like you could see it going the wrong way.
I got you. Yep. 100%. So let me ask you. I mean, let's get back to Thomas. I think it's a very interesting story. But with Mark Perry, and this kind of got swept under the rug with the Thomas thing. But why do you think he left? Was it more money at Arizona State? Was it he was asked not to come back at Iowa? Which one of those things? Because it seems like, hey, he's at his alma mater. We've all, I can't see the pay stubs, but we've all heard he's making a nice check. He's got a pretty good squad there. What was it? Was it them pushing him out, or was it him voluntarily saying, like, obviously, hey, if you want big places to live, Phoenix, Arizona might be a little bit nicer than Iowa City, Iowa. What was it?
Here's one thing I've always thought is as much as Mark Perry loves Iowa, it doesn't make sense he's not a college coach, that he's not able to. One of his biggest skills was a recruiter, right? That was one thing he was regarded for during his time at Illinois. This guy pulled Aymar and Delgado and all these talented guys, and he was just kind of regarded. He's a good bench coach, right? And I think a lot of people thought that one of his biggest assets was kind of, you can't say wasted, but he can't coach the college guys the way. I mean, Mark Perry is a folk style specialist. That was his thing, right? I mean, his scrambles.
He never competed in freestyle. Never.
No, well, not senior level, right?
Not senior level. Sure. Yes.
And so, but I mean, Mark Perry is a true student of the sport, so he was a great freestyle coach. But just some of the things that really align with his skill set, coaching on the bench and recruiting guys, and he can't do that to much of a degree as an RTC coach.
Yeah. Wait. So, Christian, I thought he was going to be the RTC coach at Arizona State also.
Oh, am I wrong? I thought he was going to be on staff.
Well, he's definitely going to be on staff. They haven't officially come out with anything yet on Arizona State's end. I imagine that may be part of it is why Arizona State hasn't officially released anything, because of the discussions may be ongoing with Sunkist Kids about who's going to handle the RTC duties. I'm kind of torn with you, Christian, on him as a college coach. Obviously, he's not a bad college coach at all. He's a really successful college coach, but for his specific skill set, I liked him a lot as an RTC coach, even though he is far more of known for his folk style accolades and freestyle accolades, just because I always thought he was really good with like the individual attention of the athletes, as opposed to maybe a 30-man roster. But either way, he's a tremendous coach, and he wants to be a college head coach, and so he has to get back into the college head coaching realm if he wants to do that.
Okay, wait, hold on. So, but Molinar was announced as the third assistant there, correct?
He was just announced as an assistant. Because Pritz is still there too, is my understanding.
Pritz is there. So there's one spot, whether it's head assistant, second assistant, or volunteer, there would be within one spot left.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that's going to Perry.
Right.
That's my understanding.
Okay, that makes. I mean, I would agree with you, Christian, there that it makes more sense for him to be a college coach where he can recruit and be in the room, and I would think that fits him much better. So I guess I don't know why I had the misconception that he was going to be an RTC coach.
Well, because maybe he will have some involvement. I think, was Jamil Kelly kind of the de facto ASU Sunkist coach there? So he was kind of wearing both hats there. So maybe that will be something that Mark will do as well.
And again, that's why I'm saying ASU hasn't specifically put anything out, which I'm imagining coming to terms with the number as far as, okay, how much is coming from the school, how much is coming from Sunkist to meet whatever the total number is.
And, one thing I think about with, the interest of being the club coach or a college coach, it just seems like it would be more – it's just a little more – you're coaching at the highest level, so it's a trade-off. You get the highest level of competition, but there's something about coaching at Big Ten, NCAA tournament, these big tournaments. I think that's a big draw, and also the team component, right? That you do have a team of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, but it's not like the team of the Iowa Hawkeyes team. And I think there's something to being a part of that and being a part of that 5-year, 4-year journey for the guys. I can see why the – RTC head coach position wasn't long term for Mark.
Yeah, and that I mean, one of the things for Mark is that's his fifth stop now. So we went Penn State, Cal Poly, Illinois, Iowa, Arizona State. So it's like, when's he going to find a full-time home?
Hey, how Penn State, Cal Poly?
He said Penn State.
You did say Penn State? Oh, I thought you said Cal Poly. Yeah. That's
stop 5, right? Penn State, Cal Poly, Illinois, Iowa.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I can't count. One of my many flaws.
I only ever got to 4.
4 maxed out. So yeah, I mean, you're right that he has moved around a lot, and I don't know what else to say. I thought the Iowa stop would be more long term. I thought Hawkeye Wrestling Club, get back on the bench, and eventually be on staff at Iowa at some point, and maybe go from there, either a head coach elsewhere. But no, that's not the case.
Hey, let's go back to Gilman. Damn it, I thought I had the notes written down, Christian. And maybe you remember the exact quote, Nomad, but I meant to ask him about the one quote, and because I did ask him about the Spencer, and I said, is it a deal with him, or is it just whatever you need to do what's best for you? And he said, listen, this is only about what's best for me. But obviously, you felt something else a little bit there, right? And one of the things he said the coaches got to coach their cash cow, but sometimes cash cows get butchered. Do you remember that, Nomad?
Yeah. He said cows. Sometimes cash cows need to get butchered, meaning implying what he is going to do. That's what that's why I took it as. But then when I asked him, well, is this because Spencer and you don't work out? Because you told me that straight up. You told me you guys don't work out. Is it because they're giving more attention to him, or does he not factor in your decision at all? And he said this is about what's best for me. And I listen, if the guy's telling me that, I'm not going to push him harder, even though I maybe felt some undercurrents of something else there. I don't know him well enough to really keep digging and digging and digging.
Well, I think whether Spencer directly had an impact on it, I do think it is related to. I don't think it has anything to do with the relationship with Spencer or if they were or weren't training. I don't think that had anything to do with it. I just think if you want to talk about alignment and where the Iowa staff is going to focus their attention, it's going to be on their NCAA athlete. It's going to be on the guy that turned their program around. And once your coach leaves, and you've been coached by Mark Perry for years and years, and it's 3 years, I guess. I guess you say, well, maybe it is time to go. I think the timing of it made sense for Gilman.
So that's why I'm going to push back on that, because I just don't feel as though this is something where they couldn't have given both guys attention. And I mean, they don't have a gigantic amount of male senior level athletes, and meaning I'm saying not to discount the girls, but saying that the Terry and Tom coached these guys in college and now are following them through to the international career. Mm-hmm. It's not like they can't give them attention. So I guess this is the one question I was thinking about, and maybe it's just the way it is. Has there been any other program where someone has consistently left, right? So at 57 kilograms, they've had this battle, and someone they've not very, very rarely kept two people in the room for an extended period of time. Someone always ends up leaving, right? Whether it was Ramos or Dennis or Gilman or, right now Spencer Lee's the next guy in the line. Someone's always left. And so it's like, okay, but are there any other programs that have multiple top guys at Olympic weights that stick around for really extended periods of times? Or is this just how it goes? Do people just always leave?
Yeah, I think it's just how it goes, Ben. I mean, first of all, the RTC thing has only been around for 3 quads, call it. Yeah. And then as far as the other high level guys in the room, so I'm kind of doing this article where I want to synthesize all the interviews that Gilman's done to kind of tie it all together and have everybody find those commonalities. And one of the things that he brought up with Taylor Miller was, he said the camaraderie of the room and not necessarily grinding with guys in a physical sense, but a mental sense. And it's something that I brought up on the Emergency FRL. If you look at the makeup of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club on the male side, Gilman was the only guy contending for national and world teams right now. And Penn State has a lot more guys.
Who do they have, Nomad?
Clark, Sammy Brooks. Is Burak still there? No.
Sorensen obviously no longer, but was there for a time. But if you look at guys who were more his age, who were in high school and college same time as him, been around the senior level same time as him, NLWC is a better fit in that sense. And then again, if you look at the makeup of the team going
in what sense,
Zane and David and those guys and Kyle were a little more his age, more on the level competing for world teams. And then you look at the future of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club. And we're assuming that they may want to keep around Kemmerer and Marinelli and Spencer. So they maybe want to keep that core group together. And that necessarily doesn't play specifically in a Thomas Gilman decision. But you see what I'm saying, where this is kind of the way things are going to be, Ben, where they want to schools want to keep certain groups together to keep going what they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys think Kemmerer and Marinelli are going to wrestle? Because neither one of them has competed in all that much freestyle. Is that something that we see in their future for sure, or is that just us assuming?
That would be an assumption, yeah.
Yeah, it's an assumption, but I think they should. I mean, Marinelli made back to back, right? Junior trials, or no, I'm sorry, lost to Mark Hall and then lost to Mackay. So he lost to the 2 junior world champs, and I think Kemmer would also be good in freestyle. But yeah, it is an assumption.
I think Kemmer would be really good at freestyle.
Yeah,
he's done it. He wrestled at Fargo.
Yeah,
he didn't win, but
he didn't win.
He's pretty good. He was it. It was that year at 45 that had like it was insane.
Yeah.
Stroker was there. There's a bunch of dudes. I remember it was funny. I remember this vividly. Morningstar was coaching Stroker because he was coaching Team Iowa, but Kimmer was going to Iowa and Stroker wasn't. And I was like, this is really weird. It's a weird thing. The high school coaches at Fargo is wild. Go ahead.
So the other thing I brought up to him, and I said, does this even factor in your decision, or is this like, hey, that's just something I can't think about, or I don't want to think about? Well, they said, listen, that a lot of people want to say, okay, well, Iowa couldn't get it done for Gilman, and that's why Gilman went to Penn State. They're going to use that as a type of recruiting tactic. I mean, that's just going to happen, right? This is the two of the top programs in the country for the next handful of years. Is that something you think about? Because obviously you have respect and you love, and Iowa's gotten you to where you're at here. So now people will use this against them negatively moving forward. Is that something you had to consider? And he pretty much said, that's not something I consider. But that being said, I could, Penn State needs help at 125, and I could see some guys wanting to come there to work out with Thomas Gilman, which I kind of thought that was interesting because to me that said he's going to be there for more than 1 year.
Yeah, I don't think you're right. You're right. Which to me says he's competing another quad, right? Because I don't think you would move there for a year. Then he's not going to get a spot on staff, in my opinion, right? Like if you look at Penn State staff, they've kept the same that same nucleus of Cale, Cody, and Casey since Iowa State, and then they've kind of they've had some different coaches where they've had Molinaro and Dernlin and now Varner there in that spot, but basically they keep their same guys. So certainly he wouldn't be the first guy on the list that they would hire, considering they have all those dudes in there waiting. So yeah, that's a good point. I think he's probably around through 2024. You would have to assume, because why would you move back closer for your wife if you're only going to be there a year? What's the point in that? And I'm sure that Gilman's probably in a point where he's looking for thinking long-term decisions, not just for 1 year at a time. So I think
he also brought up the fact that he does want to coach, but he didn't specifically say what level he wants to coach. He didn't say I have to be a Division I coach. He didn't say that. He said, I'm going to coach. I just don't know what level it's going to be at. Okay,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I think the other angle we can discuss here is just kind of the chess move for Penn State. I don't know if it's really a chess move. When you say it's not some like high level strategery involved with getting a really good lightweight in your room, but so I'm not trying to like make it sound like he's like freaking.
It's pretty black and white. If you can get more good wrestlers, get more good wrestlers.
Yeah. He's not.
Hey,
go ahead.
I want to hear Nomad go hard again that they're doing the Olympic trials at Bryce Jordan, so Penn State's going to put their best team out there. I love that bit, Nomad.
Oh my gosh, no!
It's not a bit. It's just wise.
No,
it's just wise.
It was great. It was so great.
Oh my gosh!
So now they have the Olympic trials at their place 2 years in a row.
Well,
no one's ever done that before. Nobody's ever done that before. You talk about Kale Magic.
Kale Magic. Back-to-back years with Olympic trials. It's never been seen. Yes. No, it's. I think the move. I mean, listen. We talk about it. Once a month. The production at 125. Now you've got this guy. They've got Richie Figs right in their sights, and this could be the thing that gets them over the hump with someone like that. I tend to think there's a good chance that Richie Figs goes there. I know he's currently committed to Arizona State. I honestly, just my opinion, I think it's down to Ohio State and Penn State for Richie. I think.
What? That's so 2020 that he's committed to Arizona State, but you think it's down to Ohio State and Penn State. That's so 2020.
So to clarify on that, and to my knowledge, he has never posted something saying he's reopening his commitment or has decommitted. The ASU commit stuff in his social media bios is gone, as well as the posts themselves.
Well, okay, I was.
He deleted the post.
Yeah, what's that tell you? He probably.
Oh my God.
He probably took 5 minutes and Googled Arizona State lightweight production since Robles graduated and got horrified because it's been terrible. They haven't done anything at the lightweights since Robles graduated.
Oh.
Look it up. If you're a high-level recruit and you look at their lightweight production, how do you say, how can you say, yes, sign me up when I've got Tom Ryan and Cale Sanderson and probably myriad other coaches saying that's going to be a tough decision to make. And
he also in 25 productions, also not that great.
Yeah, but it's a fair point. But lightweights, they've done well, and they also had a 4-time All-American national champion in 2016, which we're talking about 2011. And so I think that factors in. I was at Ohio State when Richie visited there. I was there. He was walking around in Ohio State clothes, and he was supposed to visit Penn State. But I think the coronavirus stuff messed up his trip there. At least that's my understanding.
Huh. So interesting.
So I think it's a smart recruiting move. Roman Bravo Young, you saw he tweeted, "I think I found my new best friend." These guys are
what?
He tweeted something like that.
That should be illegal by the NCAA rules.
What? Why would that be illegal?
I'm teasing.
That they would be
I mean, obviously. You know how influential it is. College guys can beat high school guys, and so obviously something like that's gonna be highly influential to a high school kid. So I was just joking.
Okay, got it. Yep, I think
you're talking to clarify. Christian is talking about a quote tweet of Gilman.
Yeah,
he's not talking about RBY.
Oh,
talking to Richie Fig.
I'm sorry.
You two were
Fig.
Sorry. Yeah, you'd be exactly right. Okay, I was like, I'm not sure why he thinks that. No. I'll retweet it for you. Boom. So you can see what I meant.
Got it.
So yeah, it has an impact. I don't know what else to say about it. About Gilman leaving or Penn State getting them. I think I said it on the emergency. I'm not trying to be redundant. A lot of you guys listened to our Friday emergency FRL. Ben wasn't on at that time, but I just think the most powerful thing that's said in this is. It's not about it. It's when Gilman says, "Hey, it's not about the money. It's about this, this, and this." Is why I'm going. And Kyle Snyder basically has said the same thing. And you're taking two guys who achieved incredible success at two of the best programs in the country, and even they both made the same independent conclusion that to get better at wrestling, I have to go here. I have to go to State College, Pennsylvania. And to me, that is the most – it's not even about what Gilman will bring to them ultimately. It will bring them something. It will bring Penn State something. It will help their college athletes. He will make national teams. He will push to make the Olympic team, right? But just the overall perception that nationwide creates when you've got a 97 kilogram that is – of this generation, our most successful wrestler probably, right? More successful than Burroughs the last 5 or 6 years, right? So when you consider that guy made this decision. And then you've got this lightweight that's been in the mix. From Lightweight U, the place where we just trumped it, it's 125U. And they put more guys on teams at lightweights than anyone. And that he reached this conclusion. I think that's the most powerful instance.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot, but I think, Christian, where it's going to say even more is if they both make the Olympic team in 2021. That's when it'll just be like, boom, tidal wave. But if these guys both fail to make the team, and obviously Snyder and Gilman aren't shoe-ins, right? Snyder's got to beat Jaden, and Gilman's going to have to beat Fix, and Spencer Lee. So, if they don't make it, people will try to use that against Penn State. Now, should they, is that a fair argument? No, but do people always make fair arguments? No, people make arguments which are biased to make their own cases, right? To make their own points correctly. So I think obviously you are right. It's a huge statement, but where we're going to see it play out is next year when these guys either do or don't make the Olympic teams.
Yeah, and right now I would predict neither of those guys to make it. I think Jaden beats Kyle, and I tend to think Spencer will beat Gilman, but certainly it's within the margins. Kyle Snyder has beaten Jaden Cox before. He beat him in freestyle the year he won Worlds. I know you could say ancient history, but they were both pretty dang good at that point in time.
Yeah, they were.
It was really close, and we'll see. We saw what Spencer did to that field at Senior Nationals in Fort Worth, and that was a pretty strong indicator of where he stacks up. And I think now he's got another year to get better.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be Spencer right now.
Yeah, I mean, man. So for me, you know what I think about the Spencer Gilman, I think that Spencer has issues with conditioning. Everyone wants to butcher me on that, but whatever, right? I said if I'm Spencer's hype man, I'm saying I'm the best 3-minute wrestler in the planet history ever, and they're right, right? So I'm just going to tout that fact. Why do I need to wrestle? Why do I need to train for 7 minutes when I have to go 7 minutes? Deal with it. You know, that's what I'm going to say.
And
that's
putt,
fine.
Just make a hole in one.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't need to be a good putter. Thank you, Nomad. Let's make a hole in one. But if Gilman probably obviously either sees that and knows that, right? They've been in the same program. So if he just tries to slow it down, which we've seen, he's not the easiest guy to score on. He's pretty damn hard to score on. You know, and he can get it to be a close match in that 4-minute or 5-minute mark. Can he win the match there? And I think the answer is there's definite possibility of that. So I'm not willing to write him off yet. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't write off Gilman. No way. I'm just saying you have to. If I had to pick someone right now, it'd probably be Spencer. However,
sure.
You know, who knows?
I really want to see that. Don't you really want to see what happens there?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I mean,
Of course,
dude. I need Spencer Dayton. I need Spencer Gilman in the worst way. I just want those matches to happen so badly. Pandemics and injuries have kind of prohibited it from happening in the past. But we'll get there.
Just last thing on Penn State. I really like that them and a bunch of other teams are continuing to try to beef up their senior level program. There's obviously been a lot of debate about RTCs, and there's certainly competitive balance questions on the college side, but I can't help but want more guys to be able to stay in the sport and schools to throw money at senior level guys. And to have free agency, I think, is a good thing. I think it will ultimately prove to be good for the sport. I think they'll figure out any competitive balance issues, and it will ultimately result in positives. So I'm glad that a school that's been so good at folk style is continuing to throw resources at freestyle as well.
Yeah, it would be nice if someone had the budget to match the Yankees, though.
What? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, maybe I'm messing up because I'm not a baseball expert, but didn't the Yankees have this gigantic budget? No one could ever match it, and they just bought all the best guys all the time?
They did do that.
Okay. Well, I wish someone else had a $5 million war chest to match the Penn State. That would be a lot more fun, and people would be getting paid more. To Nomad's point.
Well, there's also the where you're putting your money right now, and Ohio State just got the Jennings facility. Iowa's getting their new facility, so there's also a little bit of where you're putting it. Penn State has shown no interest, and they don't really need to, but Penn State showed no interest in creating a new facility, whereas Iowa and Ohio State prioritize that, and I don't necessarily think they're wrong for doing it, but they're putting a lot of money into it too. Millions of dollars to be exact.
Yeah, I mean, how much could the Cavellia Center cost? A $30 million building?
I don't remember the exact numbers, but
probably 20.
I remember a phone call with Tom Ryan, and I started doing back of the envelope math and a lot of zeros.
Yeah, very expensive.
I mean, I could tell you, I'm trying to build my building in my yard, and I could tell you how much that costs, and then I can multiply that by many, many multiples.
Depends how much you pay Keegan O'Toole to build it.
He only gets paid, I think, $9 or $10 an hour. Cut some branches down and burn that.
That's not bad. Not bad.
For a high school kid. Yeah.
Man, I was in college. I wasn't making that much at the freaking.
Although one day, I know what he made. He made $10 an hour. But the one day, I can't remember what I bet him on, but I won. And so it was either you get paid $20 an hour for this day, or you get paid $0 an hour. And I won.
You love betting.
Forced child labor. Oh, who doesn't love to gamble? If you don't love gambling, you're not listening to your own intuitions, Christian. Everyone likes to bet.
Oh, hey, who are you telling? I like it too.
Hey, the other thing I forgot to mention that I love so much about you guys. I did tune in for your Friday podcast. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I tuned in for a while. Christian was showing off the guns, baby. That's what,
He
no man.
came
were
in
you
casual
pumped?
Friday style.
I was like, oh, all right, well, so I was just rushing out the door, and then I was like, and I was like, you know what, screw it. Casual Friday, I'm wearing a tank top, I don't care. And yeah, let him breathe a little bit. It's fine. You're a big tank top guy. You'll wear them.
Oh, I love it. It's not warm enough, but yes, I do love some tank tops. And it's funny because all of my excess weight only goes from the top of my ribs here to my waist. That's so when I wear a tank top, I still look pretty shredded up top, even though maybe I'm not.
There you go.
Illusion.
Yeah.
Optical illusion, baby.
That's right.
Hey, the thing we didn't bring up with Gilman and Spencer, which I should have brought this up, is I think it's highly likely that with the Dayton issue that they're going to wrestle in the finals, so it'll be a best 2 out of 3. Do you think that plays into it at all?
Do I think what plays into it?
The fact that they're going to have to wrestle. No. That the fact that when you're picking Spencer over Thomas, it's you're picking it in a 1-match thing, but they actually have to wrestle two possibly 3 matches, and could Thomas's pace wear on Spencer over the course of 3 matches?
Well, if you're picking Gilman, that's almost certainly what you're saying is going to happen, and that's probably how Gilman is drawing it up and envisioning it going down, right?
Sure.
Spencer has lost 4 freestyle matches that I'm aware of.
Fix.
2 to Fix.
The 2 to Fix and the 2 his first Cadet Worlds when he was 12
he was
or 13. 9. And he got cut back and basically didn't realize. He got cut back twice, basically didn't realize. So there's not a whole lot of data on how to beat Spencer. Dayton did come back, but good Lord, that was 6-7 years ago at this point.
I know it's kind of weird.
That was only a 4-minute match, too.
4-minute matches. Yeah.
Now, his last freestyle match prior to Senior Nationals was Junior World Finals, which you remember he was down. What was he down in that one? 6-0, 7-0?
That was a weird match.
It was a weird match.
Really weird.
But he came back in that one.
He did.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, I know we're going old, but we don't have we have one senior level tournament to go on.
I feel remembering that match. I feel like Spencer probably 10-0s that guy 9 out of 10 times, and that was the one time it was just it was a weird match.
Yeah, we haven't really heard from that guy again.
We called him Mose.
He looked like Mose.
He looked like Mose from The Office. I don't know, Ben, if you watched The Office.
Oh my goodness.
But we called him Mose.
Hey, the other thing I meant to bring up, Christian, besides the tank top that I was proud of you about.
Thanks, dude.
I was proud of that damn promo you cut on Instagram. I mean, that was good. That was grade A stuff. That was better than most fighters in the UFC. Most fighters. You got that camera out. You talked for 8 minutes straight into the camera. That was impressive. Great promo.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It was really good.
That means a lot. I don't want to talk about that guy anymore. But I just needed to say it one time. Nomad told me not to. I'm sorry, Nomad. But
Nomad, next time you got to be – Christian cut a good promo. You got to be the hype man. You got to be the one slapping him and say, yeah. Go do it, Christian.
Oh, man. I gassed myself enough, more easily enough.
I think CP knows from the chat when I go in on people, I go in.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want Nomad's thoughts. You don't want Nomad to go for 8 minutes. It's diabolical, medieval. Insert any disturbing adjective, and that's Daniel Nomad when he's got someone in his sight. So, yeah, too hot for TV. Hey, Hawkeye Wrestling Club, new head coach Dan Dennis recently announced this morning. We talked to Dan briefly, just a quick hey, how you doing? Congratulations and good luck. We'll try to have him on at some point. He's ducking me right now. I hope he's listening. But he's definitely ducking me.
you.
Oh, he's ducking me big time. He said, I asked him if he'd come on.
Saw that tank top?
I asked him if he'd come on. He said, I hate you. So he doesn't want to come on yet. I mean, I don't think he was. I don't know if he knew it was coming out or when it was coming out. So
yeah,
we'll have him on at some point, though.
He's a baiter kind of guy anyways.
Yeah, but no, me and Dennis are boys, though. We'd have a good interview.
He picked right up. Both of us called him separately.
Yeah, man.
He picked right up.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So who does? So are you saying that the Hawkeye Wrestling Club with losing Perry and Gilman. I mean, that had to be a big chunk of what they're paying out. Are you saying they're going to wait a year and just sign up Marinelli, Kemmer, and Spencer Lee, or do you think they actually go after anyone this year?
I'm saying
that makes sense to me, right? Do you go and I mean, who would you go and get? I mean, I would have gone after Jaden Cox like crazy back in back before when he was at the OTC in Missouri, and I would have gone after him like crazy. But now he's at the Ohio RTC. Don't see him leaving. Maybe there's some guys. Maybe you try to. I mean, do you make some calls to Penn State? Maybe get some of their dudes. Get a Chenzo, get a Mark Hall out there training. But I don't see any of that happening. I think they hold pat.
So I heard, and I don't know this to be true at all. Here's what I heard. I'm going to tell you this. Chenzo to Arizona State, Mark Hall to Penn RTC.
Really? Mark Hall and Slay are tight.
Yeah,
sure.
that goes. Yeah. I mean, Slay was the main developmental coach, right? When Mark was going through his process. So that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, that's how McKenna ended up there from their relationship. So I don't know specifically much about Chenzo's relationship with the Arizona State crew.
Wow. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Remember when you just said Nomad that Mark Hall should go coach? I don't totally disagree with you, but I guess he's gonna. He wants to keep wrestling.
Good.
I don't want to retire Mark Hall early.
You've been
just
trying.
Saying,
do it.
I think his calling right now. I think he will be an absolutely tremendous coach. Mark, do whatever you want, man. But I think you're gonna be an amazing coach.
All right. Now we can obviously dip back into this. We got nothing but time and things to discuss. So let's not feel like we got to get the whole Iowa Penn State thing discussed on this show, because we got to do 84 finals, 97 semis, and 285 quarters for the best of the decade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bracky lost his landmine. Now we get a Nomad landmine. This is fantastic.
Well, technically one. Nomad does take Bracky's vote. Bracky now is relegated to the tie-breaking realm. Okay. So he's just got to deal with that.
Let me get him on the line here in case we need him.
Get him on the line if we need him. You never know.
Does Nomad steal the landmine then? Does he know about the landmines?
I know about the landmines. I've pretty much have been watching these happen live.
Now here's the thing. Here's why I'll say he shouldn't necessarily get the landmine, because Bracky will be back tomorrow, and he could technically use his landmine tomorrow if he had such a desire. He would be using it on the
put the landmine. Yeah, we should put the landmine in the beginning, Christian, because they're all be jammed in the end.
Well, there's going to be a landmine today. I'm using a landmine today.
Uh-oh.
It's one of 6 choices.
You'll know soon enough.
I think you're picking Galagayev over Snyder.
I
busted you. I busted you, Christian.
You'll have to tune in.
You are a communist sympathizer.
Communist sympathizer. Oh my gosh. Z's an American, I think.
Also, I think Z works on Wall Street right now.
He works on Wall Street.
He does.
Yeah. Yeah, don't
I got Bracky's picks if we need them.
This isn't national. Okay. All right, here we go. We should start with the quarters and work our way down. You want to do that?
What are the 285 quarters right in here?
285 quarters are here if you look at this sheet. So the first one, we'll start with a 4-5 matchup, which is Adam Kuhn versus Tony Nelson. A little bit of history here. Kuhn won the first meeting, and then I don't know if they hit again, actually. I don't think they hit.
Isn't it so crazy, Christian, to think that Nelson graduated in 2013 and Kuhn graduated in 2018 and they wrestled in college?
2014 for Nelson, but yes.
Oh, 2014. Yes.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Which year did Kuhn redshirt?
Must have been 16. A little big year.
Why don't I remember that?
No, wait
I feel like it was 16. Or was it 17?
Oh, it was 18 because it was the year Penn State and Ohio State really close that they wrestled in the finals.
He wrestled in 16, for sure, because that's the year.
Wiz beat him in the semis, right?
Yes. And then in 15 he wrestled. So he wrestled 14, 15, 16. He must have redshirted.
Redshirted 16. That's right. Redshirted 16, 17. He got hurt.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I really should be able to remember like 2 years back. But
That was supposed to be. It would have been his senior year, and he was going to go straight through, but then he got hurt.
Got it. That's why you hang on to that red shirt. Wrestle when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, man, this is a really tough one. I mean, the 4-5s inherently are supposed to be very difficult, but I'll say I'm going to go Adam Coon. Not really sure why.
I'm going Adam Coon too. He beat Kyle Snyder that year. It didn't beat him every time, but he beat Kyle Snyder in a match. Kyle Snyder, multiple-time world champion. Tony Nelson has never really came all that close to being a world champion. So I'm picking Adam Coon.
Yes. All right, cool. That's 2 for Adam Coon. Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr.
Look, we're going best version, and although we just had Adam Coon on the show yesterday, and he was awesome, you guys should go watch that. Tony Nelson, matter-of-factly, won NCAAs, and Adam Coon did not. It appears, based on the poll, that my vote will not matter, as Adam Coon is ahead of Tony Nelson.
Well,
55
sometimes
to 45.
Let me enlighten you, Nomad. Sometimes you have Kyle Snyder in the NCAA finals, and sometimes you have Zach Ray. And those can be a differentiator, and if you achieve the status of NCAA champion or not. By the way, he beat Kyle Snyder.
Adam Coon beat 4 NCAA champions in his career, I believe. And Adam Coon's amazing, but
you don't sound amazed.
I'm going Tony Nelson. I think college Tony Nelson beats college Adam Coon.
If only they wrestled.
They wrestled 5 years apart.
They wrestled each other in their only meeting. To my knowledge, Adam Coon won that meeting.
And then who won the tournament?
Not Tony Nelson. He did not win the tournament.
We're talking about the Tony Nelson that won, though.
Okay, but that year, okay, yeah.
Adam Coon got 4 years better, and he can't replicate the result.
Yeah, what? How much better did Tony Nelson get from 2013?
By the way, this is an argument he used several times for young guys. It was like, if only they were in the same bracket. What was it, 74?
I am making that. Wait, what?
You were like, if only these guys were in the same bracket.
Yeah.
When the guy was a freshman and he won.
Yeah.
Tony Nelson beat Mike McMullen. He also beat Gelagayev.
Adam Coon beat Mike McMullen.
Bradley was the 1 seed. I'm going Tony Nelson. It doesn't matter because Coon's going to win. Coon's got the fan vote anyway, so I'm outvoted 3-1.
You can't justify
I'm not making it a clean sweep.
All right. You love Tony Nelson. I learned that today. I didn't know until today. You love... How... Man, the man's an astronaut.
Yeah. He got too many things going on. He can't be scouting Tony Nelson while he's trying to build a damn rocket ship.
That's a fair point. I wish you had led with that point. If you had led with he's not focused enough to beat Tony Nelson because he's trying to build a Mars hovercraft he can fit inside, I'd say, you know what, that's a good point, Nomad.
He said he gave us his 3 goals. He said stay on top of the Olympic podium, try out for the NFL, and get his butt in space. That's a lot of stuff going on. You know, Nelson's he's focused. He's just got to beat Adam Coon 1 match. I think he does it.
Okay. So
those are outlandish goals, by the way.
So Coon advances.
Yeah.
All right, next match. This would be a really fun one. Anthony Cassar versus David Zabriskie. Cassar, 2 unbelievable athletes. And you know, Zabriskie, he was really a title contender a couple of years, right? It was like, man, he could definitely win. The year when he lost to Erickson, I thought he was really in the mix to win. The year Ellis won, that was. And then the year after that, he did win.
No, he lost to Dudziak on the front side, though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Erickson on the backside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say that Zabriskie always wrestled really well against more athletic heavyweights, of which Anthony Cassar fits that criteria. I watched David Zabriskie beat Mark Ellis, who had great leg attacks many times. He just knew how to strategize against those more athletic, smaller heavyweights. I'm picking Dave Zabriskie.
He was a more athletic, smaller. He was small.
Yeah, he was.
He was like a 230, 235. He was kind of one of the, as I remember, one of the first smaller guys that was really, really prolific. He's not one of the first, but just like at that era, he was the kind of archetype for the small athletic dude.
I learned a lot about Zabriskie when I got to interview him when I was at the Bobby Douglas thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how late he started his career and kind of how still raw he was going in. He was that big guy who was very athletic and had a lot of great coaches, so he was able to excel very quickly. And so yeah, Zabriskie definitely one of the forgotten amazing guys in that 2010 Iowa State team. I mean, they were third, and they had Varner right below him, who also won. But Anthony Cassar, outside of Kyle Snyder, when he moved up to heavyweight, is the most impressive leg attacking heavyweight I've ever seen. I think it would be an awesome match, and I think Zabriskie, as you guys are saying, would be able to match him really well athletically. But I think Cassar, just one too many leg attacks and gets him.
Man, I think one thing that, to me, this question all goes around how do you view Gable Steveson? Because, if you know anything about me, I am Gable's amazing. He's one of the best of a generation. He's maybe the greatest high school wrestler ever. So on and so on and so on. So I take 2 wins over that guy, and it means a whole heck of a lot to me. And I don't know if David Zabriskie would beat a Gable Steveson type of guy. Right, I think when I look skill for skill, I think Zabriskie has more. I think he has more ways to score. I think he has more ways to win. But the fact that Cassar could figure it out against Steveson makes me think that in this instance against that guy, I think he figures it out. So I'm going Cassar.
Well, now how about this? Also, remember, Cassar wants to go MMA. You know what Zabriskie's doing right now? Coaching MMA.
Okay.
This may happen in the room. Up.
All right, so they're gonna fight each other.
Yeah.
Then we'll really know.
Did you know that, Ben? Zabriskie's coaching MMA.
Yeah, he's out. I see him every once in a while. He's out in Denver area. I think Elevation Fight Team. Maybe is that who he's with? Yep. Nice. I see him frequently. Still looks in very good shape, so maybe they can go at it.
Yeah. What did you say about Zabriskie when you did the 2010 NCAA, whatever you were calling it, redo?
I don't remember what we said about him. I mean, he had Ellis's number. I remember that he was 5 or 6 and 7-0 against Zabriskie, or Zabriskie was 7-0 against him. Nothing. I don't think we talked all that much about the weight. Mm-hmm. So does Cassar move on, or what is the?
Yeah, I'm voting Cassar. Unsurprisingly,
Twitter says Cassar.
Yeah,
of course.
Same close.
Which is both recency and Penn State.
Yeah,
but I do think they are right in this case. Although Zabriskie getting some love, 28. It's not a full blowout like Gwiz Ray is.
Yeah. Okay, Gwiz Ray. I think this is the level that Gwizdowski was at. Honestly, you could throw. If you're talking best version Gwiz, 2016 was filthy. I mean, he was destroying basically everyone he beat. Kuhn, again, he beat him in 2015, but then he also beat him again in 2016 at NCAAs. He was right. I mean, he was seconds away. He was an escape away from beating Kyle Snyder, who I think most people are going to pick to win this weight altogether.
Unless he gets landmined.
That'd be crazy. Wouldn't that be weird? So I think you factor in. I think him and Gwiz have hit multiple, or Ray have hit multiple times, probably more in freestyle than anything, and that's been Gwiz of late. So, but for a very long time,
you stole my point that I was going to make. Yeah,
Ray was his kryptonite.
Yes,
and even going back to the Olympic trials when he had Zach Ray dead to rights, Ray figured out a way to beat him right at the very end. So, acknowledging the kryptonite factor. I still think I think that was a little bit of a freestyle folk style thing. I can just say that. There's no way to really prove it. I just think it's true that Gwiz took a little bit acclimating fully to freestyle when he was so good at folk. So I got Gwiz here, respectfully, acknowledging the kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
I
got Gwiz also.
Yeah, this is a hard one, and CP stole my point. Ray was the wall for Gwiz, because Gwiz, I don't know how many people remember, but Gwiz was doing senior level the whole time he was in college. He was going to the trials every year. He was going to the Open every year. So he got those reps in college, and I think that's why he has since been able to really take control of the weight. No one has been able to knock him off the perch. So, yeah, there absolutely was a long time where Zach Ray was in Gwizdowski's way. I don't remember enough about Ray's like top bottom to really shift me
Insane
towards
mat returns.
Yeah, well,
Ridiculous.
yeah, that's right. Okay, and that's coming back to me. But I still think Wiz, again, I'm favoring offense over defense here.
Yeah.
So Gwiz advances.
Gwiz
And then we have our last quarterfinal. Kyle
You're
Snyder.
so busted. Just do it.
Kyle
Busted
Snyder.
you.
Olympic
Communist
champion.
sympathizer, Christian Piles. Hey, can you guys put that in, tomorrow on the show when you do the little like clips of what their accolades are?
Totally
Christian Piles, communist sympathizer.
You're the one in favor of the RTC guys wrestling for other countries. I'm just saying I haven't even done anything yet. First of all,
Not communist countries.
Not communist country. What? Uzbekistan? Why don't you do some Googling?
They're probably not so.
Whatever they are, you don't want to be it. And you know what? If you listen to this show much, you know that Gelagayev is my favorite heavyweight of all time. And boom, landmine. Gelagayev goes up top with Kyle Snyder, where if there's one area in folk style where Kyle Snyder was a little vulnerable, he got thrown in the NCAA finals. If you think Alan Gelagayev can't throw anyone in this list, you're crazy. Gelagayev, crazy underrated, the best to never win a title at this weight, in my opinion. And yes, landmines happen, and it just happened right now. Snyder is out of this tournament, and he cannot win it.
Askren, look, Ben, we are not in a communist country. Yes, the president has veto. The president has a veto power, but Congress can overrule.
No, you can't.
I think Congress needs to overrule here because it's bullcrap. It's Kyle freaking Snyder.
You can double stamp a triple stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Listen, these are the rules of landmines.
Yeah,
not just communist. Dictatorship.
You could.
Good Lord.
No, this
Captain America for the Russian. You are out of your mind.
Listen, you're the one that always accuses me of being like too whatever nationalistic and this and that. Now you can't play.
I went full Jingo on the episode. We really got into it.
You can't start waving the flag now, Mister. Listen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Z wins. It happens. Maybe.
We saw it coming. We saw it coming, and there's nothing we could do to stop it.
His middle name is like Zalim or something.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah,
because Allen and Gelagayev have, to my knowledge, no Z's in them.
There are no Z's found, forwards or backwards. Yeah, no Z's. So
okay.
yeah, hey, the one seed goes down.
Wow.
So okay.
Okay.
So semis are set. Alan Gelagayev versus Anthony Kassar. That's fire. Nope. Against Adam Kuhn. And then it is Kassar versus Kuhn.
Man. You screwed the world out of a Snyder-Kassar matchup, which is
no, I didn't.
Super fascinating.
No. This will be good. This will be fine. And maybe we'll get a Kassar-Snyder matchup. Okay. Semis. What are they for 197? They are Colin Moore versus Quentin Wright. Because this is where you landmined.
Oh, landmine.
You had Jake Varner. So we had back-to-back upperweights go down.
2 8-seed landmines.
Yes, there were.
But your Gelagayev really been the 8th seed?
That right? I was surprised he
Who
was
seeded this tournament, by the way?
Well, the first couple weights I did.
Okay, well, whoever did 197, and I think it was Ben because he has a family member involved. The seeds were terrible.
No, I'm 184. I have a family member at 184.
Well, that's right. Well, the 197 seeds were awful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they weren't great, but it's fine. It makes for, you know what, and to me it's true, the NCAA tournament sometimes has terribly seeded weights, inexplicably. So you know what, if you messed one up, it's fine. Because we've got Colin Moore versus Quentin Wright. This is a wild one. I don't know who wins it. I don't even want to go first. I'll let Ben go first. Colin Moore versus Quentin Wright.
Well, we're used to Quentin Wright making the Cinderella runs, as he has at a couple NCAA tournaments, not having great seasons. He digs an underhook early in the match. Colin Moore hits another fireman's carry for 6 points. And although Quentin Wright makes a valiant comeback, he loses the match 12-10 to Colin Moore. Colin Moore to the finals.
Okay. I do not agree with that. I believe Quentin Wright will win this. I think his upper body skills, which I think we've seen with Colin, can be problematic. I think his underhooks were reliable. He's a better thrower than Kyle Connell ever was, right? He's better upper body than that guy. And now we could be taking 2 matches with one guy and just making and extrapolating that out to eternity. Maybe that's too much, but I think that mattered. I think Quentin Wright was better overall. I think the areas where Quentin sometimes couldn't get away. And I don't know if Colin was good on top, but I don't think he had the top. He's not like a Steinhaus, get your wrist and like grind you to death with top. I think Quentin would have got away. He would hit the same Grammy like 40 times and like just not get out. But I think Quentin would get out here. I think he beats Colin Moore. I think it is a really close match. I think it'd be really exciting because they both go, and Colin would go hard for 7 minutes. But I think Quentin gets it done and takes out Colin Moore.
Ben convinced me. I like the.
Oh my gosh.
I like the point of digging the underhook, and then he gets thrown, and
Kyle Brackey, don't screw this up.
And so I think, so I'm going Colin Moore. Now the fans have it, Quentin Wright.
Oh my gosh.
So it's coming down to
from
Brackey.
the 8th seed. From the 8th seed. Let's
From the
go.
8th seed. All right, KB.
So before I say it, what do you guys think he went?
I kind of think he'll say Colin. No, he might say Quentin because Colin beat his boy. I don't know.
Ben?
He's going Colin. He's going Quentin Wright. Quentin Wright.
Yeah, that's my guess too. I think he'll go Quentin Wright.
He said Quentin Wright. Stop it, fools.
Oh, but
Ah.
yeah, he's right. He's right.
Man.
Thank you, Kyle.
Quentin Wright was really a lot of fun to watch in college,
Oh
and
my gosh. He's bananas.
when he beat Kilgore, I just remember this was so like simplistic thinking. It was like Kilgore is the returning champ, year removed because of the Olympic redshirt thing, and he was like on the national team at 96 kilos. He's freaking huge. Wright's coming up from 84. There's no way the gorilla killer is going to be too much, and he just knee picked him to death.
Yeah,
And
it was. Yeah, it was surgical.
He also has nothing to do with him beating Jared.
Has nothing to do with him being Jared.
Allegedly.
Allegedly beating Jared Hott. We still are not sure that he's ever fireman's carried him and pinned him in the first period. We don't know if that has or hasn't happened. Okay, so Quentin wins. Quentin is in the finals. Holy cow. And he will await the winner of Craig Brester versus Jaden Cox. Now, Twitter has spoken here to the tune of 97.1% for Jaden.
What?
Joe Exotic got more votes than Craig Brester. Actually, not true. Craig Brester probably got more votes in total. Joe Exotic got like 300 votes. But this percentage is alarming. However, it shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be. I understand why everyone says this. Craig Brester's so out of sight, out of mind to wrestlers right now. This
What do you think Craig Brester's doing right now?
That's what I want to know. That's what this whole show's been about. Finding Craig Brester. Where the heck
Brian
is he?
Snyder, tell us.
482 episodes of really trying to find out where Craig
just
Brester
haven't wanted
is.
to come out. I'm just going to tweet it right now. Where is Craig Brester? Anyways.
Hey, so listen.
Appears he is working with large machinery.
That makes sense. He himself was a large machine.
That makes perfect sense. So I think that although Jaden wins a very, very high percentage of these matchups, this matchup was actually really close. Craig Brester was so tough, and Jaden didn't really like to blow people out at all. No. So I'm gonna say this match was, was like a 4-2 type of match where Jaden maybe gets a takedown escape and ride in time and gives up 2 escapes, something to that effect.
I don't think he rides him. I think it's a straight one takedown match. I think Brester just wouldn't have had the offense to. Maybe he gets to him, but I just don't think he could finish on Jaden in any way, shape, or form. I don't think he's holding Jaden down, and basically that's all you need. If you can get away and you get the takedown, you will win the match. So that's how I think it happens. It is a crazy close match, though. I do think it's close.
I think Jaden's international success has made people forget that he did have some close matches in college, and he did take a few losses in college. And I'm glad that you guys have brought a bit of information back to the world, reminding them that Craig Brester was phenomenal, and were it not for Jake Werner, could have been, had a really tremendous career, and did have a tremendous career. But it's still Jaden. And good for Craig Brester for even making semis.
For real. Okay.
Bad seeding.
Now.
Because NCAA champ was not in the bracket.
Who? Oh, Mike Mock? Well, he was in the bracket.
Did a freaking pigtail. You start with the champs, and then...
So in your opinion, Colin Moore shouldn't have been in the bracket?
So I was going back and forth. No, hold on. I was going back and forth between should it be Moore or Brester?
It's
as the 8th guy, because that would have been. You know what? I was more so. I just thought it should have been Bo Nickel, because that was the best version of Bo Nickel.
Yeah,
that was the best version of Bo Nickel.
Maybe I don't know.
And then we could have gotten Bo Nickel, Jaden Cox in folk style.
I think it looks similar to freestyle, with Bo not scoring. That's how I felt. Because now we get this. This is a way juicier match. Quentin or Ed Ruth versus Bo Nickel is, to me, infinitely more interesting than Bo Nickel versus Jaden Cox. We saw it. We saw how that would go on their feet. If you think, I don't think Bo rides Jaden. I don't think Jaden rides Bo. Okay, we can do that right now if we want to just talk about that. We can talk about anything we want. So you're not deprived of that. But I think it looks like freestyle.
I agree.
So I think he gets the takedown, and Bo Nickel doesn't, and he doesn't. Neither guy holds each other down because they're absolute monsters. And even though they're good on top, they're not holding each other down. So there, I did that one. Bo Nickel versus Ed Ruth is insane. Someone really thinks we should have given Gabe Dean a lot more of a shot in this one because as a freshman he beat Ed Ruth the year Ed won, and that it was a controversial takedown. Maybe so. I think had the matches not happened, then we wouldn't be able to say then we would say maybe something different. But the fact that Bo beat him, and then Bo had his best year the year after that.
Yes. What if we picked junior year Ed, not senior year Ed?
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, that's probably the best version of Ed Ruth.
That's probably the best version. I think he might have been partying a little too much his senior year.
Was that the Taco Bell year?
That was the Taco Bell year.
Dang it. Yo quiero. So
13 Ed Ruth was. Damn it.
He said yo quiero. How do you remember that? That's funny.
I don't know. Ed, we'll say 2013 Ed, because that was the year he decided to get a major with like 30 seconds left in the match. So that version of Ed versus 2018 Bo Nickel, which I think you could say is just as good as the 2019 version considering the quality of competition. We can get Ozzy to weigh in too, maybe.
Ozzy, yeah, he got kidnapped. My wife finally came and got him. So he did not make it all the way to. He did not make it all the way to the screen. I know who I'm picking. I'm picking junior year Ed. But this match, of all the matches we've seen, this is probably in the top 2 that I want to see. I mean, this match would be so much fun. The scrambles would be insane. Kale would be at both corners. You know, we'd do a hologram of him in one corner, real Kale in the other corner. We wouldn't know which one the real one was. You never know. And I'm saying that Ed wins in a wild one, like 9-7.
I think it is a wild one. Ed had some wild ones like that. I think what about Gabe Dean gave him some trouble? I think he had a hard time getting to him positionally. I don't know if he would have that same difficulty with Bo, who's a little more free and loose and fluid in his motion. So I think Ed's getting in, and if he's getting in consistently, I think he's scoring points, right? And man, the mat is what's so interesting because Ed rode everyone. Seriously. I mean, just about everyone, right? He had a hard time holding down Gabe, and even in their NCAA match, that semi, I don't know if he rode him then. I'm pretty sure that was a straight 3-2 win, and I don't think he held him down or got riding time in that match.
Wasn't that a 5-3 win?
Am I completely misremembering? That would not be the first time. I really thought it was.
What year is that? 2017, 2016?
No, it was 2014 NCAA semis.
Oh my God, way off.
Yeah.
I'll look it up for you. Keep going.
I'm talking Gabe Dean, Ed Ruth semi.
Yeah. I'm looking it up.
So that's
5-3.
It was. Wow. Okay. I wonder where all the points were.
I think it was 2 Ed Ruth takedowns.
Oh, okay. 2 takedowns?
2 takedowns, 1 escape, and then 3 escapes for Dean is what I think it was.
Okay, interesting. I just think Ed is Man, I think people forget how good that guy was. He made the world team. I think he's really special, and he could get to points. There's a chance he rides Bo. There's a chance that doesn't happen. There's a chance Bo could really maybe ride Ed. I don't think that would happen. There's not much of a track record for that. Mm-hmm. I think Ed was just better. I think Ed's one of the best of the generation. I think as we look back on this era, I worry he is one of the guys because he only has he has some losses in his senior year that maybe he's not regarded, but he's a 3-time champion. He was absolutely ridiculous his sophomore through senior year. So I think he beats this version of Bo Nickel personally.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one, and even freshman year Ed, right? I mean, Amuchastegui, who was awesome, he beat him the next year, but I think he was hurt when he lost to Amuchastegui, and so could he have been a 4-time finalist maybe? I brought up his bonus rate from sophomore through senior year. 2012,
gotta be crazy.
26 out of 30, so that's 86.7. 2013, 26 out of 32, which is 81.3. And 2014, 30 out of 35, so senior year, 85.7. So he was over 80%, comfortably over 80% bonus rate for the final 3 years of his college career, which is absolutely absurd. And there were points in young Daniel Nomad's life where, and I know this isn't correct. I know this isn't correct because Cale Sanderson exists and also Kyle Dake and probably Logan Stever too. But there were points where I would watch Ed Ruth and I'm like, he is the greatest folk style wrestler that I've ever seen. I don't know how anyone possibly beats him. If he remotely seems to care about the match, no one is in his league. Okay, that was young Daniel Nomad.
So hey, just a quick. It was 5-3 with Dean. Only one takedown for Ed. He had riding time.
What was it?
He got taken down. Dean took him down. Had an escape and a takedown. And Ed had a takedown, a bunch of riding time, and a couple escapes. So he rode him for 2 minutes 11 seconds.
Oh wait, so who's Nomad picking? It has to be Ed Ruth after that.
It is not. It's Bo Nickel.
It's Bo Nickel?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
What the heck is that?
After all that?
Yeah.
I think he just did that. Literally, Ben, I think... Here's what... Do you want to know what I think just happened? He thought he had picked... He's like, okay, I'm done. I just picked Ed Ruth. And then you asked the question, and he's like, I'm going to nomad it up here. I'm just going to say Bo Nickel right now, just to mess with you.
He tricked us.
I think that's what just happened. In his mind, he had already picked Ed. And then he's like, oh, let me throw a little chaos into this.
Oh, my God.
I didn't throw chaos into it. The fans threw chaos into it.
Well, yeah,
and then picked Bo Nickel.
Picked Bo. Yes.
And I'm picking Bo Nickel. But.
Well, how are you any different than the fans?
Well, what do you... I mean, because I have... Well, you gave me one vote. And now we have a tiebreaker. And now we have Kyle Brackey.
Freaking Kyle.
What, you worried that Kyle Brackey's going to pick Bo Nickel?
Yes.
I think he might.
Wow.
Okay,
you don't know.
While you're sending Kyle Brackey a message, I just dawned on me that would be so interesting. It would be 2012 Ed Ruth versus 2019 Zahid Valencia. That match would be awesome.
Gosh.
Oh,
that would be insane.
Awesome.
I got Ed, by the way, for the record.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, that would be such a good match.
First of all, he's riding him. He's riding Zahid Valencia.
You think? I mean, he probably is, huh?
Daniel Lewis did. Right. Bo Jordan had. He's another galaxy on the map from anyone Zahid wrestled. Yes.
Oh, Ed hit. Right. Oh.
And with an exclamation, Kyle Brackey says, Ed, capital ED exclamation point. Ed Ruth, the best of the decade.
Nice.
Stephen Kyle. So your voices was heard. You just weren't loud enough because you couldn't persuade Stephen Kyle Brackey.
Ed Ruth, factors into so many fascinating hypothetical matchups, though.
He does. He really does.
It was really sad that we didn't get to see him wrestle longer. I know. And by the time he made the world team right away, and then I felt like by that next year he was kind of already on his way to mixed martial arts.
Yes. And
you guys are right. I mean, and this is. Dude, he was such a good folk style wrestler. I mean, he was so amazing. I think those bonus points, they kind of stick out. And the fact that he never went on and accomplished highly in freestyle will kind of people will kind of always count that and hold that against it. But people who watched Ed Ruth wrestle folk style, he was just so absurdly good.
He was absurd. He was absurdly good.
Yes.
That's it. There's no other way to describe it. He was ridiculous.
That's why I'm glad you guys have been doing the going back and looking at the old NCAAs and also doing this best of the decade. And why, I did things like the Hodge Circle. Like, it's really good to go back and look and try to remember, like, man, there were some all-time greats that, like you said, out of sight, out of mind. Sometimes we start overlooking these people as it gets further away from their careers.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed this, and as we're coming down the end of this, because it has been fun for me. Because really, this hits the sweet spot for when I first started becoming obsessed with Division I wrestling. So I still have a decent amount. I haven't forgotten everything, although every day I'm realizing how much more and more I am forgetful.
Well, Christian, we should end. And now that this, I feel like we're maybe on the downslope of this coronavirus thing, but I think we're still fairly far away from having wrestling competitions.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go even farther back. We're going to have to start going like 2009, 8, 7, 6. I don't know how far you can go back with being a really highly deeply involved wrestling fan.
Yeah, it would get tougher for me before 2007 to really know the ins and outs beyond like the NCAA finals. So it'd be tough. Well, I don't anticipate having any issues filling time with programming with something.
Yeah.
So okay, that's that. So we're down to 197 finals and 285. So we're gonna wrap this whole thing up this week. Okay. And Bracky still has a landmine that he can use, but only tomorrow and only for the heavyweight semis. So he's got the. So if he's going to use it, it will be either in the Gwiz. Who's Gwiz got? Gwiz versus Kassar.
Yes.
Or Z versus Kuhn.
And Kuhn. Yep, one of those. He can use it. He doesn't have to use it, of course.
Z versus Kuhn. We have two semis where we have a semi where neither guy won an NCAA title.
That's happened.
That's pissed.
That's the joy.
You guys suck.
Man, Ed Ruth versus Zahid Valencia. I'm looking at this document right now. That would be so much fun.
That would be yes.
Oh my goodness.
Ridiculous. That'd be a ridiculous match. No question about it. All right, congrats to Ed Ruth. Let's go to some questions from friends. What do you say?
Love it.
Let's do it.
Nomad loves it. I like this one. Who is the single most competitive person in wrestling? Hashtag FRL questions. I want Ben to answer.
All of them.
Really? You think everyone's equally competitive?
Yeah. At the highest level, they're all just so competitive. Yeah. I don't want to say you absolutely have to be, but it's damn near like you almost absolutely have to be that competitive. If you think of all those, all the guys who are winning world titles, they're all just so ridiculously competitive, even at the smallest, pettiest thing.
Yeah, I think it might be Kyle Dake. Kyle Dake is so insanely competitive. I just remember, this was years ago now, but shout out to Don Bashada. He was nice enough to, I kind of burned him a little bit on the last FRL.
You're a friend of me.
But yeah, he's a friend of me. We get along, but we do bust on each other sometimes. But he had me out to Jersey, and it was all these wrestlers. It was Dake and Taylor, Jimmy Kennedy, Jordan Oliver, Jake Herbert. It was all, and Dake they were doing all these games and activities, and Dake was just like so insanely competitive, no matter what the thing was, to the point where other guys were like, no one was like annoyed with Kyle, but it was just like, this guy is just ridiculous about everything. He does not want to lose in anything, whether it's go-karts or wiffle ball or whatever. So I think it might be him. And I don't know why I remember this, but I do. Jordan Lean was on the NCAA broadcast talking about Dake when Dake was about to wrestle in the finals. I forget against who, if it was against Marion or whoever. And he's like, this guy, it is so important to him to win every single thing. It literally hurts his soul when he gives up a takedown in practice. Like, it's that important to him. So for that reason, I will say Kyle Douglas Dake.
Am I allowed to say, Coach?
Yes.
Kale.
I was going to.
I think Kale is like, and I don't know about and I know what CP saying with like, wants to win everything, but as far as it just pertains to wrestling, I just think he is like OCD level obsessed with winning, and just thinks about it 98% of the time.
And I think almost anything he does is like, does this help me win? Does this help my, like, every decision he makes passes through that filter. Like, and I think that's partially why he is where he is, right? Okay. So did Ben get away with not saying, he said everyone. Okay, neat. Thanks. Oh, easy, everyone. Cool. All right, maybe he'll put something on wax here. I know you have to have an opinion.
How do you quantify it?
If you can't quantify
it's an effing stupid question. Can't quantify it. It's impossible. We can make stupid guesses, but we don't know.
How many questions? Okay, quantify this, the most overrated move.
Then, before you answer that.
Well, okay.
I was just going to say, look, here's how you quantify it, Ben. There's 1,000 activities in a hat. Pick them out of a hat, then pick the wrestler who, in your opinion, would hate the most to lose at that thing. And that's why he said Kyle Dake.
Okay,
yeah,
it's fair.
Because of go-karts.
Okay.
All right.
So to quantify the worst move ever, or the most overrated move, it's a simple calculation. You think about how many people think this is a good move, and then in my head I have a calculation of how many times that move actually works. I put the numerator over the denominator. I get the answer.
Okay. All right, math major. Let's go, Goodwill Hunting.
Okay.
What is it?
Number one, you're talking about the crossface. Number two, you're talking about the headlock, and number three, you're talking about the good old-fashioned butcher.
Which one's
barbed wire?
Oh, bundle, like a bundle?
Yeah. Bundle, yeah, it has a lot of different names.
Got it.
Those are the three most overrated
Now,
moves.
hold on. Who is saying, yeah, headlock, that's your go-to?
God.
The headlock,
yes,
listen,
so many people. No,
Christian. Ben,
listen,
the headlock
you deal with only high-level wrestling. I deal with all levels of wrestling. Yes, you do. You're a spoiled FloWrestling.
No, I'm not.
I've been communist countries.
Listen,
wrestling.
Ben, I have coached at a lower level than you could possibly fathom. You have no idea. You have no idea the coaches and the wrestlers I have seen coached and coached against. With that said, as terrible as where I'm from is at wrestling, the most clowned move still is the cowboy. And if you win with a cowboy, it's like, yeah, he caught him with a cowboy.
Headlock?
They call it a cowboy. If you're using a cowboy, even then, that was one of the first things I learned. It's like, this is a junk move that can sometimes work, but basically it is not a sustainable way to live. That's how it was introduced to me at Buffalo Gap.
People just say that. People say that because they know it's the right thing to say. But listen, actions speak louder than words, and I see how many effing headlocks are tried. It's overrated. Way overrated. And you may say, I know the headlocks are terrible. Shut up. I see a billion kids every Sunday try it.
Listen, let's say, hypothetically, I'm not good at wrestling, which is not a hypothetical, and a guy's about to score and he's coming behind me, well, what's the harm? I'm going to get taken down. If I don't know how to dive roll, I'll see if I can grab the head and throw him to his back. And if it doesn't work, I was getting taken down anyways. That's where you see it all the time.
Ask Tim Flynn if it's overrated.
Yeah, ask Tim Flynn. He built an Edinburgh fighting Scots dynasty on the backs of headlocks alone.
So you guys are the enemy of the people.
Also, Ben, you're clearly talking about from your you're talking about from your feet, because crossface on the mat, crossface cradle is amazing.
Yeah, sure. I should have specified crossface on the feet, not crossface on the mat. Yeah, you're right.
Crossface cradle is one of the best. It's my favorite move from top. I love people with crossface cradle.
Oh, what is my most?
What are you reading?
No, I'm not reading. I'm deep in thought. I don't know what. Okay, I won't say this is overrated, but I think this is the tactical mistake I see all the time with wrestlers that are on bottom, and they're in a time crunch. Whether it's the riding time is mounting or something, the period's about to end. It's time to get away, and I see it so often where a guy's kind of lower, you're getting ridden, the guy's a little lower, and instead of just turn and kick and forcing that, they turn back in so
terrible.
much. I don't, that's not a move necessarily, but it is like this weird tactical thing that good wrestlers, divisional wrestlers, they make it all the time. There's no reason to turn in other than you're going to get yourself ridden. It's so rare that you're going to win a scramble because this guy can just hang down there. And I know there's the drop down rules, but in general, it does not work. And if they just turned and kicked away, that almost always seems like a better option. But for whatever reason, a lot of times they don't do that. And it's always something that kind of drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So,
100%.
okay. So there's one thing. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have an overrated movie. I have a lot of things where I'm like, I
The
just see
Switch!
it so much. No, that's most underrated.
Did you see Nomad? Hey, no.
They resurfaced it. It was great.
What's another move that Nomad should teach? What's the next series? Because the people loved it. They loved the Switch. What should he teach next, man?
Do you got a good Peterson?
No, I never really Peterson. You know what
I love a Peterson.
You know what I liked?
Great
that
move.
I don't know what the name for it is, but when the guy's in deep on a shot, and instead of going like over for the far ankle, you go under for the far ankle.
Yeah, he does do this.
And pull them on their hip.
It's weird.
Well, I'll when we have time, because I got to do the beta show after this, but when we have time,
I want to see this. I'm trying to think of what you're talking about.
Dude, it was much lower level in Division 1. It was so effective for me in high school. I think because people didn't know like what it was. They're like, what the hell is going on?
Man, you know what? This is a trash. The only person I've seen effectively use this is Colin Moore. Like, but they used to at the gap.
What? So are you talking about weaving through the legs and like bumping them over? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. We'll show it to you.
Okay.
It's bad radio.
It'll be in the DVD series. But Colin Moore does that reap finish or whatever. Where you like hook you get on a high crotch and then you like sit and hook the leg. Like he's the only person I've ever seen do that. But they actually teach that. I'm like, that is a terrible finish. It doesn't work. But it works for Colin. So what do I know? Okay, next question. It's not a question. I just want Ben to do the NFL Combine workouts and tell us his numbers.
My fastest 40-yard dash ever was 5.3 seconds.
Nice.
I wonder where that would rank among NFL offensive linemen.
Probably not that high, unfortunately. I was not blessed with the gift of speed.
Yes.
Damn it.
The talent of speed, I would call it. The leading
Skill.
candidates.
Definitely not talent.
Leading candidates to fill that. Why didn't you develop the skill of speed, Ben?
Because I didn't. Because wrestling played to my better strength of getting people tired, and so I just did that. I wasn't trying to be the best at exercise, Christian. I was trying to be the best at wrestling.
He didn't go into CrossFit.
It worked. Leading candidates to fill the Hawkeye Wrestling Club job. I'm going Dan Dennis.
Yeah.
Dan Dennis.
Shout out again.
You know. All right. Next question.
Did I ever tell you about when I was talking about an interview with somebody the other day, and did I ever tell you about when I interviewed down here and Ray asked me who I thought was going to get the USA Wrestling job, and it had already been filled, and I didn't know if it was a trick question or not?
Yeah, it wasn't a trick question. He probably just didn't know that.
I was like, I don't know how to answer this.
That's so funny.
Does he want me to tell him I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was some trick question from Ray. Ben Randolph, don't want a great storyline forgotten in all this. Can we get a backstory dive into Etchemindia? Don't want such a cool story to get lost. Well, Ben Randolph, you'll be very happy to learn. We are finishing a film about Anthony Etchemindia and his journey from Cuba to the United States. It is so good. I saw a rough string out of it. You guys are going to love it. It is exciting. It is interesting. It is fascinating. What he has had to do to get here is insane. It will be, in my opinion, one of the most popular flow films we've ever done. It's that good. So
We got a good one coming out on Friday, too.
yeah, the season that wasn't coming out on Friday. This is
what is the storyline of this, guys? I was curious when you.
It's kind of like basically the story of the 2019-2020 season with the backdrop of the coronavirus and telling the various athlete stories and just kind of the intersection of the two. It's tough in spots, but it's really good. And the film editor, Simone, she's going to come on here on Thursday and talk about it for 10-15 minutes. Very talented editor. So.
Bracky chimed in with some NFL lineman combine times here. Tristan Wirfs, who was a wrestler, 4.85. Ball State's 306-pound Danny Pinter, 4.91. And Boise State's Ezra Cleveland, who I imagine is in this 300, similarly 4.93.
That's like,
man.
honestly, 5.3 and 4.8, that sounds close. That's half a second for a 40-yard
Shut up,
race.
Christian.
That's not close. Listen, I'm not.
You're done.
Listen, Ben, you do not have to worry about any athletic challenges ever. You don't have to. It's like what you have the ultimate trump cards, I guess you could say. So it doesn't matter.
Saying you're an Olympian in actual sports pretty well respected.
In an actual sport.
In an actual sport.
You know what
One time
I
took twice I took top 10 at the amateur nationals in disc golf. Is that a real sport?
No.
I'll say no.
Oh, rude. You guys are rude.
But wait, but Nomad has weird rules about what things are sports. You have to.
You have to be able to play defense. You have to be able to play defense. Otherwise, it's an athletic competition.
So golf or I guess can you play defense in tennis?
Yeah.
Okay. What about golf? Not a sport?
No, not a sport. Athletic competition.
So swimming,
What about
racing,
bowling?
none of those.
Well, racing's difficult because you're. Well, I'm talking about car racing.
But swimming, no.
Oh.
No, athletic competition. Extremely difficult. Got to be in tremendous shape. Athletic competition, not a sport.
Well, tremendous shape. No, you can't say that. I mean, freaking.
No, I'm saying like the skills required to be a good swimmer. You have to be in tremendous shape. Doesn't make it a sport. It's an athletic competition.
Oh, that's funny, no man.
Got it. Many medical experts talk about a future without handshaking. Do you think this should impact any of the 34 handshakes a wrestler makes every match? I one time went on a mini Twitter rant in like 2014 about like,
that.
I was like, what? It's so much. Before the match, after the match, the ref before the match, all the coaches after the match, all the refs after the match, then the lineup after. Holy cow. I mean, it is a little excessive, right? I'm all for the respect of the handshake. I think it's one of the coolest parts about it. But man, there's a lot of shaking of hands.
I like the fist bump. I don't mind the handshake. I'm not like an anti-handshaker, but I like the fist bump. Nice, easy, quick, get it done.
Yeah, the bumps are cool. Bumps are cool. No issues with the bumps. Okay. Any other questions? It is 9:43 deep in the heart of Texas.
We have two more minutes. We have more good questions, or we're done.
Name it. We can do one more. Because maybe Ben has some light on this. What kind of money are RTCs paying athletes? If wrestling is going to be mainstream, this is going to have to become more public. Oh, so that's from Jordan Tomey, Army wrestler, who is a listener.
Well, I would disagree with that. I don't think it has to become more public because that is a private donation used by a fairly private organization. And obviously I think if we want to become a real mainstream sport, there has to be some type of professional league or professional avenue. I obviously have tried and failed at this twice. I think I always thought so I think if I see a vision of it in the future, it's not going to be what I thought it was. It's going to be something more like like tennis, where they have this a bunch of events and they build up points towards something, and it's worldwide as opposed to just in like one country.
Yeah,
that's long been space thought.
Yep, that would be cool. I guess, I mean, I will say they are professional athletes, right? So in that way, it's been professionalized and they are getting paid. It would be cool to know like what these guys are making, because I think that ups the competition to get these guys more paid. That's all I'll say about it. I mean, what kind of money? It really depends on the athlete. Are there some athletes getting six figures? Maybe a handful. We're probably talking about.
I don't think from one source. I think from multiple sources. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly from multiple sources. I'm just talking like from RTC to athlete, right? I'm not talking.
I don't think is there. I'd be surprised. I don't think there is, but I'd be surprised. I think it's high five figures, and then some of the best ones. I mean, you guys would know better than me, so tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
And then they're also
I think you would
getting lucrative stuff from sponsors and.
I mean, if Jordan Burroughs is getting $100,000 from Nebraska, you'd be surprised.
I guess Burroughs he'd be my first guess at who would be possibly making that much money. He'd be my first guess. Dake would be my second guess, and then someone in the Indiana Wrestling Club would be my third guess.
David Taylor would be my third guess.
Yeah, that'd be
and I don't know what Jaden's making, but it may be different.
1 week. It's 1 week a month.
Yeah, so that's different. So okay, we're gonna go. I think Kerry Colott is on the Bader show because I see him talking to Bader right now. But do you have that lineup?
Yeah, so Alex Marinelli, Keith Gavin, Joe Russell, and Kerry Colott.
Boom. The Bull.
All right.
Nice. Well, that's good stuff.
I'll be on there too. I'm just going nonstop here. So.
And Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr.
Dang.
Bonus
Wow.
prize.
Impressive.
Well, thank you guys. We're good to go, Caleb. Thank you guys so much for listening. 482 strong. We'll be back tomorrow and Thursday. Full week of FRL. Full week of content coming at you. We've got the Bader Show 5 days a week. We got Ben Askren flexing. And we're fired up. We got a lot of great guests. You guys have been appreciating that, which is always good because that's what we're trying to do, is make stuff fans love.
Sophomore Big Board coming this week, talking out on Who's Number One, the show. We've been doing recruiting class rankings in Junior Big Board the previous couple weeks, so Who's Number One, the show, still going strong as well.
Love it. Thank you, Nomad, for coming on. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.
Peace.
I don't know.
All
He
right.
wasn't as busy with his hands.
And we're going to get going here.
Watch Mark